In the summer of 2008, a 2-year-old girl vanished from her home in Orlando, Florida. Her name was Caylee Anthony, and for an entire month, nobody reported her missing. Not her friends, not her grandparents, not even her mother. Because her mother, Caylee Anthony, insisted Caylee was perfectly fine. But the truth was far darker than anyone imagined. What followed became one of the most controversial and polarizing murder cases in American history. A case filled with lies, cover-ups, forensic mysteries, and a courtroom verdict that shocked the entire world. This is the full story. Caylee Anthony was born on August 9, 2005. A joyful, energetic little girl who brought light into the Anthony household. Caylee Anthony, Caylee's mother, was in her early 20s, charismatic, social, and known for telling lies even about simple things. She lived with her parents, George and Cindy Anthony, who were heavily involved in raising Caylee. The home functioned like a typical suburban American household, at least on the surface. But behind closed doors, the family dynamics were complicated, tense, and filled with secrets. June 16, 2008. This is the last confirmed day anyone saw Caylee alive. Caylee left the house with her daughter. Hours later, only Caylee returned. From that day forward, Caylee disappeared from the world, and Caylee began weaving a story that would unravel piece by piece. For the next 31 days, Caylee lived a bizarre double life. She told her parents that Caylee was staying with a nanny named Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. But investigators would later discover something unbelievable. This nanny never existed. During those 31 days, Caylee went out clubbing. She partied. She entered hot body contests. She got a tattoo that read Bella Vita, meaning beautiful life. She smiled in photos. She laughed with friends. She acted like a carefree young woman with no responsibilities. While her daughter was missing, her parents repeatedly asked to see Caylee. Caylee always had an excuse. She's with a nanny. She's sleeping. She's at the beach. She's with a friend. Every detail, every sentence was a lie. The deception collapsed in mid-July. Caylee's car was found abandoned. Her father, George Anthony, a former police officer, retrieved it. When he opened the trunk, he smelled something he recognized instantly. It smells like a dead body has been in the damn car. There were flies. There was a stained piece of carpet. And there was a trash bag Caylee claimed caused the smell. But the odor was unmistakable. This was the moment the family knew something was horribly wrong. On July 15, 2008, after 31 days of Caylee's lies, Cindy Anthony called 911. She told the operator, quote, "I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car." And then the chilling truth came out. Caylee finally admitted she hadn't seen Caylee for a month. The investigation exploded instantly. Detectives questioned Caylee. Her story fell apart within hours. She claimed she worked at Universal Studios. Detectives escorted her there. She walked confidently through hallways until she finally stopped and admitted she didn't work there at all. Another lie. Then investigators pulled computer records from the Anthony home. They found searches for chloroform, how to make chloroform, neck breaking, household weapons, cadaver dog alerted to the trunk of Caylee's car. Forensic air analysis detected chemicals associated with decomposition. A hair in the trunk matched Caylee's DNA and showed signs of post-mortem banding. Detectives were convinced Caylee had killed her daughter. But there was one problem. There was no body. Not yet. On December 11th, 2008, 6 months after Caylee vanished, a utility worker stepped into a wooded area just a short walk from the Anthony home. He discovered a small skull, near trash bags, duct tape, and scattered bones consistent with animal disturbance. The remains were confirmed as Caylee's. The medical examiner ruled the death a homicide, but the exact cause was undetermined. Caylee Anthony was charged with first-degree murder and faced the death penalty. In May 2011, the trial began. Media watched. The prosecution laid out a direct, emotional argument. Caylee wanted freedom. Caylee got in the way, so she used chloroform, suffocated her with duct tape, and dumped the body in the woods. They presented forensic evidence from the car trunk. They showed photos of Caylee partying during the 31 days. They emphasized her lies, every single one. To the public, the case seemed open and shut. But then came the defense. They walked into court with a story nobody expected. They claimed Caylee drowned accidentally in the family pool. They accused George Anthony of helping cover it up. And they suggested Caylee's lies came from years of trauma and abuse. The courtroom erupted. Suddenly, doubt filled the air. The defense attacked every piece of the prosecution's forensic evidence. They claimed the air sample decomposition testing was junk science. They argued the chloroform searches could have been auto-generated. They said the hair analysis was unreliable. They suggested the duct tape might have been placed after the fact due to environmental changes. Piece by piece, they chipped away at the prosecution's scientific foundation. And the prosecution struggled to prove exactly how Caylee died. Without a clear cause of death, the jury was left with questions. Too many questions. After 6 weeks of testimony and 11 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict that stunned the world. Caylee Anthony, not guilty of murder, not guilty of aggravated child abuse, not guilty of manslaughter. She was only convicted of 4 misdemeanor counts of lying to law enforcement. The courtroom gasped. People outside screamed. Commentators were furious. To many, this was the biggest miscarriage of justice in decades. But to the jury, the evidence simply wasn't strong enough to convict. Caylee walked out of jail a free woman. She went into hiding, changed her appearance, cut off communication with most of her family. Years later, she reappeared in interviews, still insisting she had nothing to do with Caylee's death, still blaming her father, still claiming she had no idea what happened. But the public never forgot, never forgave. Her name became synonymous with guilt, whether the court proved it or not. And today, nearly 2 decades later, the truth remains buried. A little girl is gone. A mother walks free. A family destroyed. A nation divided. So now the question is yours. What do you believe happened to Caylee Anthony? Accident? Murder? Cover-up? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more deep dive, true crime stories.